Welcome back again, everyone, to Ready, Set, Rewatch, where we are boldly going to continue our journey watching Star Trek the Original Series. I am Skylar, and this is my co-host and best friend, Daniel.
Hey, hey, hey.
Ooh, it looks like Daniel's ready to go on today's adventure with the Enterprise crew so we can explore a haunted castle and then make some robots think themselves to death once again.
Once
Daniel, you
again, that's
excited
our
for all
thing.
that?
Yes. I've
Alrighty.
already watched it. There's nothing more they could do to me.
That's true. Let's grab our popcorn and sodas and jump right into it with our first episode, which is Catspaw.
Catspaw. So this episode opens with us unable to make contact with a landing party that apparently only included Scotty, Sulu, and one other guy, whose name is Jackson, which we only know because after a couple seconds of us not being able to reach the landing crew, he calls up and is like, "Hey guys, I'm ready to beam back up," and won't give any details about anything else. And then when they do beam him up, he looks exactly like Mr. Fitz from Pretty Little Liars. That's a reference for Not You.
Whoa.
And he immediately just dies. He just falls over dead.
No, not Jackson Fitz.
But don't Jackson Fitz. And then don't worry, because he's not done. His mouth falls open and out falls a spooky ghost voice that says,
Whoa.
Get away from my planet or I'll curse you for death."
Ghost.
Spock jumps into Kirk's arms.
Yeah.
And that's our intro. Our two of our friends are missing, and a third guy we didn't know is dead. Oops, uh-oh.
We're in for a spooky time here.
We sure are. If it makes you feel any better about Jackson being dead, if he is Ezra Fitz, then he's also sleeping with a minor. So
Get him out of here.
get him out of here. So Kirk, Bones, and Spock beam down to a really cold-looking planet, which is foggy, which I only make a note of because Spock says there shouldn't be fog here.
When they beamed down, I wrote down like it's a snow planet, but it's not. They kept going, and I'm like, wait, no, it's just kind of stony, rocky, foggy.
Yeah.
I thought it was snow at first.
I mean, it actually ends up not mattering because we spend pretty much the whole time inside. But
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
we go into that aforementioned haunted castle.
haunted castle. They wander off into the fog, and Spock picks up some life signs. But when they call up to the ship, Chekhov can only pick up the three of them. And also, for some reason, DeSalle is in charge.
Yeah,
Lieutenant DeSalle from the one with the Napoleon guy.
there's reasons for that. But first and foremost, Pavel, my man, we need to talk. We need to get you a damn barber
The hair
because
is bad.
I mean, I know what's going on.
Are we back to the
I'll say
wig? Or is it just bad?
All right, let's get into that now. This is actually the first episode with Chekhov that we filmed.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
we're airing it out of order. So, yeah,
Oops.
this is not only is this the wig, but it's the worst the wig has ever looked because it's the debut of the wig technically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Well, the good news is he's only
But
kind of in the episode.
you know what? If we also want to jump more into the little fun facts area,
Sure.
because you are questioning why DeSalle is in charge and
Yeah,
why
what's
he
up?
kind of remains in charge for the rest of the episode. This harkens back to a story that we touched on a while ago, and that is of when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told Nichelle Nichols to not quit the show
Right.
because he was like, I think it's really cool and progressive that there's a black woman with a prominent role on this television show. And so she was like, all right, I'll decide to stick around. And in the script, Uhura was, they wrote it out that she is fourth in the chain of command. So she was, you take away Kirk, Spock, and Bones, or I guess Scotty too.
Yeah, because he's often left in charge too.
Then she would be the one in charge of the bridge. And then some producers were like, wait a minute, no, that sounds a woman in command of a starship.
Well,
And
then
so then they put DeSalle in charge
why not Chekhov?
because he's a little baby boy. Look at his hair.
He is a little baby boy, and he does look stupid. That's right.
He
That's
just
fair.
started going here.
That's fair. I like DeSalle. The couple episodes he's been in, I think he's an interesting character. I think that it's getting to a point where it's weird that he is not like thought of on the same level as like maybe not necessarily Chekhov, but like at least on the same as like Yeoman Rand, because I think he's been in more episodes at this point.
Maybe
He like in relatively prompt, like he's been left in charge of the ship. That's crazy. Like
yeah, that's big now.
the only other people who've been, I mean, the only other people who have not been left in charge of the ship are Ahura, I guess, and Chekhov.
Yeah, because we have left Sulu in charge at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously Spock.
Spock all the time. Well,
I
okay,
don't.
Bones might
I
not
don't
have.
think. I don't think Bones ever takes
Yeah.
command. I don't think he's in that like track.
He's
He's like strictly medical,
yeah. I don't think I've ever seen him in the chair, but
and that might be the reason why he cannot take command is because he needs to attend to complete
he's gotta
medical
be a
duties.
doctor.
But yeah. So obviously Kirk, and then Spock, and then Scotty,
Yeah,
and then it was supposed to be Uhura,
but
but
then why was it? Because in the past it's been Sulu.
um.
I mean, he wasn't there either, but like
Maybe Uhura was on the planet that time. I don't
maybe,
remember.
maybe.
But yeah, so it's Sulu gets command. I think Chekhov does get command eventually. I mean, spoilers for how Star Trek goes. I think almost everybody becomes a damn captain at some point
Even
in
DeSalle.
their career. No, he dies, I'm sure.
Even my new favorite crew member, DeSalle.
We stand to Sal in this house. I don't
Oh,
know.
I guess
I need to see more from him.
it's
I
not
need to
his
see
fault the
work ethic.
producers were racist
No,
or
but he did
sexist.
strictly benefit from the. I think it was primarily sexism. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure.
It couldn't have helped.
No, no, it really couldn't have, huh?
No, well, it's unfortunate, but it's true. Well, hey,
Wait. Double check. NBC was against having a female. Yeah, nothing about
Okay.
black, so
Okay.
it's just sexism.
okay. Well, at least we can narrow it down. Okay. They then immediately lose contact with our group on the ground, but not to be outdone, our three leads, Spock, Bones, and Kirk, then immediately find three floating ghost witches who warned them
Actual
of
ghosts.
the curse.
Actual ghost witches.
What's happening? What?
There's ghosts, man. There's ghosts.
It's crazy. At first, I thought they were doing a thing where it was like the fates from Greek mythology or something. But then and then I was like, maybe they're doing like a it'll come to me like a Macbeth thing. It's not. We just got ghosts.
Yeah. Both Greek myth and Shakespearean lore, both things that Star Trek would love to hearken to, but that's not what they did.
Nope.
It's not what they. And I think equally as important to note, we don't ever see these ghosts again.
No. Is there any trivia about who played the three ghosts? Was it like
I didn't get any of that. No, I think they're just three stagehands that they put in horrific makeup.
just
Although
threw 'em
here's
out
a
there?
little. If you want to call this interesting trivia, you can.
Okay.
But I wrote this down. If I was a little kid watching this in the '60s, I'd probably piss myself
The
because that was
effect?
horrifying.
Yeah. Well, we saw, and the version I saw obviously was like the better effect, but I thought the effect was pretty good for the show,
And,
specifically
like,
when they disappear.
the horrific ghostly wailing and how they're like, it's very much. It reminded me of Charles Dickens, the fucking asshole who now likes Christmas. That one.
Yeah.
The fuck is that? What is it called?
Is it Christmas Carol? No.
Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Christmas Carol. Thank you. The old version of that where, I mean, there's a lot of horrific imagery in it, particularly like when the Ghost of Future like unveils like the starving, dying children at his feet. But then there's also a part where Scrooge looks out the window and sees all like the dancing ghosts in the street, and it's always been very, no pun intended, haunting to me. And that's the same vibe that this had.
Yeah. That's fair. But don't worry. Spock says that these ghosts, they're not real. So they
Yeah. I'm going to read this how I wrote it. Spock says he doesn't believe in ghosts because he's seen Scooby-Doo and it's always a rich guy in a costume.
That's fair. In this case, it's a much funnier guy in a costume. But we'll get there. So they keep following the life signs that he detected earlier, and they get blasted by a big old wind but when Bones makes a joke about, he's like, "Seems pretty real to me," and also really messes up Kirk's hair, which I think is funny.
Oh no, we can't mess that up. We need that.
It's not a toupee yet, but we're getting there. Bones then spots a massive evil ass castle, which Spock says
Haunted,
the life signs are probably inside.
haunted ass castle is what I wrote down. Yeah, yeah. And that's just what it. Can you? So it was around this point, once they go inside the castle, where the first thing they find is this little snarling black cat.
Yeah,
And then first I wrote in my notes, how do I not remember this episode? But then I was like, this has to be a Halloween episode.
that's in my notes. That's 2 bullet points from now. I said, "Is this a Halloween episode?" with 5 question marks.
Yeah, this has to be this. Tune in, NBC, Star Trek is going spooky.
Ooh.
It has to be, right? So I did look it up. It was like, what day did this air? And this aired on October 27th, 1967. Ooh. This is a certified Halloween
we
episode.
got one. We got a holiday episode, baby. Is there a Christmas episode of Star Trek? The original series?
Man, I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
You think if there's not one of TOS, there has to be one of the animated series, right? It seems
I could see that.
It has to.
The place where I feel like it's most likely is Next Gen, but I could see it.
I don't know. I mean, I certainly remember. I remember a Christmas tree in Star Trek. I think it might have been in a movie, but that's when Picard having memories of his family who all burned to death in a fire.
Jesus Christ! I can imagine somebody trying to explain Christmas to Worf and him being like, "The elf on the shelf has no honor."
Yes.
Yeah.
You haven't watched it, but you've got it. You've got the spirit.
Okay.
That's exactly what Next Gen is.
Okay, good. Back up on the ship, DeSalle, who is now sitting in the chair, is bossing around Chekhov and Uhura, which did make me a little uncomfortable. But he ends up being, like, spoilers, he ends up, like, being pretty good at it. Like, he gets the problem solved.
I don't think he ever is in charge again after this, though.
No, he's barely a character in the show.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
We just needed a white man to listen to.
He is on, realistically, he's on par with Transporter Chief Kyle. Like, they're on the same level. Yeah. But, Kyle, I mean, he's been on the bridge, but he's never been in the chair. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wins at Kyle's time is what we're saying.
The next time that we refuse to give the chair to Uhura, I guess it'll be Kyle's turn. Back in the castle, Kirk, Bones, and Spock.
Wait, but before we get back to the castle, I did have one more thing to say on the bridge. Yes. And yeah, it's about Chekhov's hair again. At what point is it just less embarrassing to have him in an episode with short hair and then say, whoopsie? Like, was it really that? And I know that this was the first one they filmed. We've already established that.
Right. But it's like the 6th one in the season, so it would be a little funny.
But it would be. But like, come on, like, oh, I went to the space barber and I had a little mistake, and so my head is cold.
Yeah. Then we get to the next episode, and he's like, it grew back.
Instead, I grew it back instead of this bullshit. Come on, he looks ridiculous.
Look, I'll be real with you. The hair never looks good, but this is the worst.
I mean, I assume that they went with the longer hair in the first place because they wanted him to look more boyish. They wanted him to seem like the young, plucky guy on the crew compared to everyone else who's more seasoned. But this ain't it, man.
It's not working. It's not working for him. He's got this little page boy haircut, and it ain't good. It ain't good. But yeah, back in the castle, Kirk, Bones, and Spock, immediately after seeing a spooky cat, fall through the hole in the floor into a prison cell.
The classic pitfall trap, and now they're in a dungeon. Chained to the walls.
They fall into a prison cell, and then there's a fade, and when the fade goes away, they are all chained to the wall next to a skeleton, and I was like, how did they get onto the... Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then our boys start debating why all this Earth stuff is here, and why it's real, even though sometimes it's not real, like it's not registering as real, and why everything here is a ghost story. And I was like, I feel like every planet we've gone to, everything on it has just been Earth stuff. It's weird for you to point it out now that it's weird.
Yeah. Should have been kind of used to it by now. You
I'm
don't remember
saying
the snake god temple?
the Snake God Temple, the fact that we just found Apollo in space. I don't know,
We
man.
learned that Apollo was a real guy.
And he was really horny.
Oh, well, he would be, wouldn't he?
I guess he would, yeah. But then Scotty and Sulu come in to save them, but they won't talk because they're clearly under some kind of brain control. And
Oh,
Scotty is pointing a phaser at Kirk.
I did write this down. I should have said it a second ago. But they're trying to use their rational thinking to determine why they're in an Earth dungeon in a spooky castle. And I'm over here yelling at my TV screen, being like, "It's because it's a Halloween episode."
It's a Halloween episode. Also, you fought like Napoleon a couple episodes back. You don't have room to be confused about this one. Bones says that it looks like they've been drugged. So Kirk tries to talk to them to reach them, but it doesn't seem to work. But Sulu unlocks them all from the wall anyway, and Scotty leads them at gunpoint. And as soon as they try to fight back, they are immediately teleported into a plush-looking throne room with a bald vizier-looking wizard asshole.
This is where I said, "Fuck." The odds of this becoming a godlike alien being episode just went up about 300%.
Ooh,
But
baby.
but I will say here and now, luckily, that's not quite the case.
It's it's not far off.
It essentially ends up working out exactly the same way,
Yeah.
but technically it's different.
We will give it the pass. So Kirk starts questioning the wizard guy, and he's like, "Why are you humans always asking so many questions?" And then and he also says that Scotty and Sulu are under his control and that his name is Korob. Korob.
He looks like Morden Cannon from D&D.
He does look a little bit like Morgan K. That's true. That is true.
Bald wizard with that facial hair. He just classic D&D.
And he's still got his cat with him, except now he's like talking to the cat a lot.
The cat's freaking out.
The
too. The cat's like screaming.
Yeah, it's not meowing. It's fully like hissing and freaking the hell out. It's crazy.
Now I have a black cat, and it doesn't do this.
He a little bit. Spock says that previous people in the area have scanned the planet and never detected life before, and Krob's like, "Well, we weren't here before." They're like, "Okay." And when Krob goes to talk to the cat again, Spock is like, presumably having played D&D, he's like, "Wow, that's the wizard's familiar." You see?
Yeah. I bet Leonard Nimoy played D&D all the time. I bet he was best friends with Gary Gygax.
Karab then summons a meal and demands that they eat it, but then they don't. So he's like, "Okay, well, what if the meal was instead diamonds?"
Well, we're still not going to eat that.
And they turn it down, and he's like, "You've passed my test." And everyone's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "You were loyal because you beamed down here to help your friends. You were brave because you came into the spooky castle, and you weren't greedy because you didn't take my money. So you passed my test." And then the cat starts freaking out and runs away, presumably not happy that they passed the test, I guess. And she comes back in, having transformed McGonagall style into a relatively attractive woman with terrible hair called Sylvia.
I did say the cat has excused himself, and then the next bullet point is, "Oh, pardon me, herself." Also, there's a point where Karab says, I don't remember what is said to him, but his response is, "I do not understand that reference, therefore it also has no importance." And I gotta say, I'm gonna start saying that to people.
Bones says something about like they don't understand trick or treating or something. And,
Right.
Yeah. And Karab is like, "I don't know what that is, so it doesn't matter."
Yeah, boom, based. I like this guy.
So Sylvia, the cat, comes in and starts talking shit to everybody, and talks about how she is able to control people and how it's actually like super easy for her. And then Kirk steals a phaser from Scotty and takes control of the room, but Sylvia pulls out a pendant of the Enterprise and threatens to roast it over a candle voodoo doll style.
And it works.
And it works. Yeah, she allows Kirk to call up, and yeah, everyone's really sweaty on the bridge now, especially Chekhov wearing that dumbass bob.
Somebody says over the comms, it might have been Chekhov or it might have been DeSalle. They say, "We're cooking up here, Captain." And I was like, "Oh, bet. Don't even worry about it. They got it under control."
They got it on lock, bro.
Yeah, let them cook.
After a commercial break, Kirk grabs Sylvia's arm away from the fire. It's actually really funny. He's like, "I'll handle it down here," and then just grabs the pendant away from her. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Stop that!" And she says that she's won somehow, and then we get a cutaway of the Enterprise, and Chekhov is like, "It's not hot anymore," and then that's the whole cutaway.
Oh
We're
my
like,
god,
okay,
Chekhov smiling like he did literally anything to help.
yeah,
He's like, well, I'm glad we handled that like professionals.
and
You
then
didn't do anything. You stopped being sweaty.
yeah, um, and then Kirk is like, "I figured out how you guys work. You can use telekinesis to do stuff," and I'm like, "That's not what telekinesis is. Telekinesis, that's not
Also,
what that one does."
the way he pronounces it, he says telekinesis.
He does say telekinesis at one point. He says it a couple of times, but he only says telekinesis once, and I think it's in my notes later. But it's really wrong. It's truly crazy. And also there, I don't know what they're trying to say, because it's like telepathy is reading minds, telekinesis is moving things with your mind, but they're talking about like creating matter, which is not fucking either. So I don't know, man. It don't matter really, but it's just I just had to point out it was wrong so that you guys knew I'm not an idiot. Karab then starts saying, "Yeah, that is how we work. We do use telekinesis." And Sylvia's like, "Shut up! You speak too much." Gah, I'm a cat. Kirk,
Cat ladies be yapping.
she mad. Kirk says that there's almost certainly going to start sending down search parties to look for them. And Karab's like, "Nuh-uh," and he puts them in. He puts the pendant of the Enterprise into a block of plastic or something, so that the people can't beam down. And I really wanted a cutaway of the Enterprise just stuck in resonant space, but it ends up just being that they're stuck in a force field that we never actually see.
Yeah, it's lame.
Yeah.
I wish that they were stuck in resin on the inside. They're all just frozen in place.
Yeah. Like when the parents get frozen in Santa Claus 3.
Oh, that's a good Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Karab then has Scotty takes Sulu and Kirk back to the dungeon but leaves Bones behind. Meanwhile, on the ship, Chekhov tries to analyze the force field, but he can't, so Desal makes a plan to try and break the force field. And spoilers, it's gonna like kind of work a little bit.
Yeah, but does it even matter?
No. He figured he like makes a dent in it. Spoilers, I guess. He makes a dent in it using whatever process that he's making, and like if they kept doing it, they were going to get out, but it ends up not mattering because eventually Karab is just like, "Okay, I've taken the thing down." So anyway, in the dungeon, Spock says that they must have tried to make something that they would think the witch and wizard must have tried to like make something that the humans, the Enterprise crew, would have thought was normal, but they were like scanned the brain wrong and somehow hit the part of the brain that makes up like folklore and spooky stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't really sure what they were saying here.
the way they tried to describe it is it's like they missed the rational, like, forward thinking part of our brains, and they hit like our subconscious psyche, which houses spooky castles and scary witches. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I feel like in this time period, like where they're in the far future, it should have been a different horror, but it's probably fine. This
Like,
is in the 60s.
Why would knowledge of things that are real be housed in a different part of knowledge of things that are fictional? Because that's kind of what Spock is saying.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. They're trying to explain why it's a Halloween episode, and I don't need them to.
They didn't need to. I looked at the date. I know what it's going on.
I know what happened here. But then Bones comes back into the room, and he is now under the control of Sylvia. And I wrote down, I think this is like the third time that he's been brain controlled, because he got what do they call it? Landrew. He became part of the body. There was a word for it that they used. I don't remember what it was. And then I guess you could also count the spore plants, but everyone got that one. But like, you know, when he was drinking a mint julep.
Oh, I remember the mint julep. I remember it well.
There's probably some other time that he got brain controlled. He's just really good at it. He's got a weak mind.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
our doctor.
He's good at medicine and nothing else. In the throne room, Karab says that Sylvia is a traitor and that it's just Karab and Sylvia. And they're going against the old ones. And I was like, Cthulhu?
Yeah, wait a minute, what?
But Sylvia is clearly stronger and I think in charge. And so he knows that he can't beat her. And also she's gotten really attached to being a person now because I guess they didn't used to be able to feel things.
So,
So do we think that they're the people, the same kind of people from Charlie X, like the green spacehead, or is there just a lot of races of just like ghostly
that
energy people?
well, I don't think they're ghost energy.
Well, yeah. Actually, you know what?
We,
Spoilers for when we eventually see what they are. It's weird that they don't have sensation.
yeah,
Because she specifically says we don't have sensation, like the
maybe
ability
they
to feel.
maybe they don't have the mental capacity to process sensation. Like they're leeching off whatever these things are, which we'll get to. They're leeching off of other beings' brain power and psyche so that they can experience things and presumably, I don't know, eat them, eat their brains, eat their thoughts.
I don't
It's
even know if it's
Halloween.
that, because I don't think Karab is supposed to. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I don't
Sylvia,
know what the fuck the old ones means in
yeah,
context of that.
no idea. Sylvia and Kirk now alone in the throne room.
Oh, he's gonna kiss her.
Sylvia says she comes from a world without sensation, which Kirk apparently immediately thinks, well, I'll show you a sensation. And he starts really clumsily, like, grabbing her shoulder and rubbing her face in a way that does not look romantic or nice, frankly.
No. That's how you did it back then.
I guess, man. It was the definition of ham hands. That's all I'm saying. And she's like, Karab is a loser. I want you to be my boy. And so she offers Kirk a bunch of power, and he's like, no, but then starts kissing her.
Well, we knew what he was here for.
Yeah. And she's like, I can be any woman. And then she turns into several versions of the same woman
Yeah,
in increasingly stupid costumes, the last of which I think might have just been a clown. It's
I
like
don't remember the. I
it's
remember
like
the
a
clown.
ridiculous rainbow costume. It's not literally a clown, but it's
Oh,
not
okay.
far off. Um,
I mean, I thought like I can be any woman, and then he turns into Uhura, or he turns into Nurse Chapel. Not Rand. She doesn't work here
she doesn't
anymore.
work here anymore.
But you know what? In the original script, probably would have been Rand if she had worked here
It should
anymore.
have been. It should have been. Yeah, it should have been people from the crew. It should have been Ahura. It should have been bring back Helen Noel, who still theoretically works on the thing. And
No,
she would be able to pull her out of the psyche because they made out at the Christmas party or whatever.
that's true. They did make out at the Christmas party. Also, the wizard is watching.
Yeah, he's watching through like a hole in the wall, which is creepy, but
It's more Scooby Doo.
is very Scooby Doo. So she changes back in her normal black costume, and they start making out a whole bunch. And he uses his just really bad. The making out and the seduction be on display here is not sexy at all. Like the kissing is very like slapping two action figures together. It's like there's like too much force. Like you can see like he's getting in there and like not in a good way.
Um,
It looks uncomfy.
do you think because is it like, hey, that kissing looks too real. It's never gonna make it past the TV censors. So like really just smear your faces together, or
I think maybe Shatner's just a bad kisser.
no? He gets he gets way too much action for that to be the case.
He gets way too much action in the show that he's helping write a little bit at this point, probably.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw the clown outfit.
Okay, right? But it's a clown
Yeah,
outfit, though, right?
I understand. It looks like a circus tent. She looks like Captain Buggy.
A little bit, but like spoiler, like modern Buggy.
Mhm.
So anyway, he's using his really bad, awful seduction powers to get her to tell him about the transmuter, which gives them their power. But then she catches on that what he's doing, and she gets really mad and threatens to sweep him and his worlds away.
What kind of power does this lady have?
I don't know, but it's a crazy escalation.
And is she, knowing what we know now, is she bluffing?
Probably,
Okay.
yeah. On the Enterprise, they've managed to dent the force field, like I said, due to DeSalle's great leadership. I'm sure he'll be left in charge again in the future. He won't. He won't be. That's not gonna happen.
No. No.
In the dungeon, Karab releases Kirk and Spock, and he tells them, "We gotta go. I can't stop her. She's super strong." But Kirk won't leave without his men. So Karab is like, "Okay, well, they're not your men anymore. They're hers now. You gotta go."
Mm.
And they try to leave, but then they're stopped by the shadow of a cat.
Man, okay. So
This is really funny.
So we couldn't afford an actual big cat
Like a
for our
panther or
Halloween. Like
something.
literally a panther is what like they wrote that in the script. I'm positive of it. They're like, well, we can't. We went to the zoo and asked to borrow one, and they said that's illegal. So
They said,
instead,
"Get out of here."
we're going to film the shadow of the real house cat we already have on the wall and be like, "That's a big cat." And then we'll have an occasional shot of the normal sized cat running down a tiny miniature hallway,
Yeah.
which is absolutely
Oh my god, it's
adorable.
so cute. It's
it's
so
just, it's just
cute.
the,
It's just this cat. It's this cat who so clearly does not want to be on TV. Like is
no, I disagree. He's having the time of his life.
and it's running through this like tiny little dollhouse model size version of this castle hallway. And it is, oh my god, it's perfect. Oh my god, I loved it so much. Anyway, Karab says that he'll deal with Sylvia when and they get back into the dungeon. So Spock escapes through the hole that they fell through earlier, but before Kirk can climb through, Big Cat Sylvia knocks the door down onto Karab, I guess killing him.
Killing him. He says, "Fly, you fools,"
Fly
and
you
he's done.
fools. Yeah, Kirk runs to try to help him, I guess, because Kirk is a nice guy. But when he appears to be dead, he grabs Karab's wand and then climbs up through the hole. And as soon as they get up onto the upper floor, Bones attacks them with what I wrote was a badly made mace, but I'm actually not sure what it was supposed to be.
That's a
And
good question. Let
so
me take a look.
and so does Scotty, but they're very easily taken care of. Unfortunately, Sulu's also there and knows Kung Fu. So
Yeah, he's an actual combatant.
so he is able to last about 1 second longer.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're onto something. I think they're supposed to be maces. They never stay on frame for more than a second.
Yeah.
But they look like someone took some like metal pipe and just like attached a big cap on the top, and here we
Yeah.
go.
It looks like the microphone for like a children's costume. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah, yeah. My
Uh
child is going as Steven Tyler for Halloween.
once all the whole crew is knocked out, Kirk jokes that they found the crew, but the cat's here. So Kirk grabs Karab's wand again and threatens Sylvia, so she turns back into a person. Spock says not to let her touch the wand because it's the transmuter or whatever. But instead she touches her transmuter, which is a gem that she's been wearing on a big dangly
hey,
necklace around
easy now.
her neck the whole time. Whoa, hey, oh, hey, oh.
Ooh, we're touching transmuters over here.
And she teleports herself and Kirk back into the throne room, where she throws herself at him, to like try and beat his ass. Like she makes like a little bit of a final plea to be like, you could be my guy, but then like he ends up smashing the wand on the table in a effect that actually looks not half bad, which dispels all of the magic. And they're just standing on a rocky surface where the rest of the crew walks up to join them, no longer brain controlled, and they see what Sylvia and Karab have been the whole time, which is something I truly struggled to describe. I wrote, they were actually tiny little blue flower bird things. The fuck? They look like plants, but also like kind of squids? I don't know. But they're
they
like
got
4 inches tall.
furry little feathery bodies, and they have, you know what they look like, kind of, except for the blue feathery stuff. Yeah, they look like from Halo flood spores.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
They've got like the proboscis and like little flowery planty tendril bits coming off. But they're supposed to be, also they're making literal baby alligator noises.
Oh,
You know
are they? They're doing the like,
yeah,
ooh,
so
ooh, ooh.
yeah. So for those who don't know, baby alligators, their little calls, they sound like laser
They're
beams.
little lasers. They go boop,
And
boop, boop.
yeah, that's just they didn't edit them at all. That's just the noises they're making. It's fun.
Oh,
It's
like
cute.
literally?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were joking.
No.
Well, it doesn't
100%.
matter because they both die. They just die and turn into smoke, and then the
They
episode
do.
ends.
They fall over. So okay. So they're clearly these little telepathic creatures
They're little
that
dudes.
are getting into people's brains,
And
and
Kirk kissed one.
yeah, he made out with that little thing. um, and and they make them like see a different reality. So were they just standing there the whole time on the rock? But more importantly, like smashing the wand, what did that do? Like, is that a metaphorical, like he overpowered, like his willpower overcame them, or
I don't know,
how does
man.
that work? What happened?
I think it's supposed to be that it's like, because they say it doesn't like it doesn't like give them their power. It's just like the focus for it. So maybe they like can't turn their power into constructs without it. I don't know. I don't know.
But physically, how did he do anything if it was in his brain?
Maybe the focuses I guess had to be some kind of real, right?
I
Because
don't
how
know.
else would it? There had to have been something that was actually there.
Let me ask a more important question.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, what was the point of this episode?
spooky Halloween episode.
Halloween. It was Halloween. Yeah, okay. Um yeah, no, that's it.
That's the episode. That's the whole thing.
They they died. They
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 die
died on
and
the
turn to
rock,
smoke or
and then we
whatever.
and then we roll credits. This isn't like the worst episode I've ever seen, but it is
No, for sure.
it's like 45 minutes of what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, I have a controversial take here. It's
Oh,
not a good episode, but I am giving it. Well, do you have more trivia?
yeah, wait.
Okay,
I already talked about the alligators thing, talked about the wig thing, talked about the the racism in the chain of command thing. No, the sexism in the chain of command thing.
right.
Right, last one. That little metal prop of the Enterprise that was on that little keychain that got laminated in the. It says it was laminated in lucite. Is that a thing?
It is. Yeah, it's like resin. I think it's like a plasticky
Yeah.
resin.
So that miniature was donated by Gene Roddenberry to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is
How
cool.
do we get it from them?
How do we steal? I have to steal. There's a map on the back of the
If that
lucite.
if those people can just walk into the Louvre and take some shit, we can get that.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Chat, don't tell anybody we're coming.
Don't. I
Be
swear
cool,
to
chat.
God.
Be cool.
I swear to God, if that's where you fuckers decide to start leaving comments like, "Officer, look over here," how dare you?
I'll be so mad. Anyway, unfortunately, I am gonna give this episode an engage because I think it's really cute. I like a Halloween episode, and the cat in the hallway was really cute, and then the little guys, and then they're little guys.
They
Come
were little
on,
guys. I
bro.
don't. I don't know. I don't. I don't. Listen, you're not wrong. I'm giving this an illogical
That's
just because
and
I'm
you're correct.
so confused as to what was actually accomplished here.
Yeah, yeah. If I was listing out the episodes of this show that somebody should watch, I would leave this one in there, and I wouldn't be like, you need to watch it, but I'd be like, it's pretty cute. You should leave that one in there. You should watch that one. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
What a
definitely
fun
watch the
one.
Halloween episode.
Yeah, you gotta. Come on. Um,
Uh, yeah, that takes us to our next episode, which is the return of an absolute hero.
an absolute
This
legend.
episode is I Mud.
Can you guess who's returned?
The Archons.
The Archons again, a third time. On the Enterprise, Bones does not like a guy called Arthur who recently joined the crew, and he says it's because he never smiles and only talks about the job and basically is a Vulcan. But unfortunately, he says that to Spock.
To the only Vulcan on the crew, and he's like, "Oh,
I didn't.
Spock, I didn't.
Yeah,
It's the exact word he uses is the ears make all the difference."
yeah, which
It's like,
is
all right, you
kind of cute.
racist.
He also says
Um,
that the guy has missed two physicals that were scheduled, which will come up later.
oh well, I don't like doctors
Yeah, that's fair.
pissing me off. You just wanted to come in for the physical so you could charge him like $30.
Spock seems offended, and he makes a joke about Arthur being afraid of his beads and rattles. So he's calling him a witch doctor.
Yeah, hits him with a clap back. Good for you, Spock. Stand up for yourself.
But Arthur actually is evil, and he walks into some place in engineering and just really casually karate chops a guy and knocks him out super easy, and then starts messing with the machines.
Oh, nuts. It looks like our racist doctor was right again.
Racism wins again. Sulu alerts Kirk to the problem. Kirk calls security on the intruder in what I wrote was auxiliary control, so I guess that's where he is right now. And it turns out Arthur has set the ship on a course somewhere, but we don't know where. When the security gets to auxiliary control, they find that the controls are locked and the engineer is knocked out. Arthur then goes to some part of the engine room where Scotty is and knocks out a bunch of other guys, including Scotty.
Mm-hmm. He's really good at it.
Finally, when Kirk is about to leave the bridge, Arthur comes into the bridge. This guy knocked out the whole ship in like a second.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
He walks in and he's like, I've rigged the ship to explode. If you change course, it'll explode. And Arthur's like, don't worry. I mean no harm to humans or humanoids. And then he reveals on his clearly paper mache stomach that he is, in fact, a robot.
If this ship drops below 50 miles an hour, it will explode. He's a robot.
No, he's a robot.
Oh, excuse me. He's an android. Because they
yeah.
do immediately say, like, he's an android.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I watched a little bit of Next Gen. And when they're talking about Data, they're like, hey, man, you're like really cool. Like, we don't have androids. Like, you're unique and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Why are there so many fucking androids in TOS?
That's a good fucking question, Daniel. We didn't make this one, so it doesn't count.
This is at least the second episode with androids.
Yeah.
All right. They identify him as a highly sophisticated android. Arthur says it'll take 4 days for them to get to where he is refusing to tell them where they're going. And he refuses to answer any questions, and then he turns himself off, standing directly in the way in front of the door to the bridge like an asshole.
It'll take 4 days. Good luck. And he just goes to sleep.
He goes,
What a dickhead.
Several days later, he turns back on and says Kirk, Spock, Bones, Uhura, and Chekhov have to beam down to the planet right now or else.
He conveniently demanded that all the named crew members show up.
He then says please after threatening the ship with destruction again.
That was nice.
I guess. So they all beam down at once. All 5 of those people and Arthur, which means I guess the transporter can do 6 people now. I was pretty sure it could only do 5 before. Get on that, Roddenberry.
Damn.
Pretty sure we could only do 5 in the Mirror Mirror episode.
This gets illogical.
Yeah. So they see a bunch of lady androids who let them into a room where they find, it's Fenton Mudd.
All right, it gets an engage.
Who declares himself the ruler of the planet. And he is such a little fucker.
He is... Okay, so in the first Harry Mudd episode, he's like a silly little goober pirate man. He's just a troublemaker. He's got his little mustache. He's like, ooh, I'm a scoundrel. He's actually, in this episode, a full-on Looney Tune. He's completely become a cartoon character in a way that I can't stress enough is exactly what he always should have been.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun in this. He is my favorite part of this episode.
Of course, he's the only reason to watch it.
Kirk tries to call up, and one of the women crushes his communicator in her bare hands because she's a robot. Kirk and Mudd then have a really cute interaction where he's like, you did this, and he's like, allegedly. Like, yeah. He's talking to Kirk Kirk's talking to Mudd about like all of the crimes that he's done, and then Mudd is trying to explain to the rest of the crew of Kirk's crew behind him. He's like, well, now hold on. He's trying to lie to Kirk's people. Be like, no.
I also really like the way, because like Kirk gets his communicator crushed and then handed back to him, and she's holding like a serving cup, and he just like plops it in the cup, like, well, fuck you then, take this.
Yeah, drink lithium or whatever. Also, the lady who's holding the cup, her eye is twitching the entire scene, and I did notice.
She's a robot and she's glitching.
I think her fake eyelashes are not good. I think that's why her eye is doing that.
She's very nervous because she's not a real actor.
But yeah, that's probably true too. Mudd says
that is true.
Yeah. Well, can I? So I didn't. So okay, we'll get to it in 1 second because I have a theory about it. Mm-hmm. Mudd says they're going to be there for the rest of their lives, and then it fades out on what I wrote as him laughing fatly.
I mean, where's the lie?
So Kirk, when we get back from the commercial, Kirk demands that they release them, and he says, "No, that's against the law that I just made up."
Perfect. God, I love him.
And also, he says he's made 500 Alice bots, and he says they're identical, which they're not, except two of them. Two of them, I think, are actually identical twins. And there's a couple scenes where we see like two of the robots at the same time, and I'm pretty sure that they're real identical twins. But then every other time, I think they're just swapping necklaces, so you think it's more. So all the robots have a necklace that says the number on it. There's,
Yeah,
and I think that it's just pairs of identical twins wearing the necklaces and then swapping them out for different scenes so that we can pretend that they're different robots. But the
yeah.
problem is that when we introduce them, it's in a room where it's like, hey, there's 10 Alice's here, and most of them just look like different women.
So I think so. Yes, we do have, in fact, two identical twin ladies, and a lot of the episode is shot with like we have two standing next to Mud. That's both of them. That's all we have. We have the two. But then in the same scene, but a different shot, we have now one of them is standing next to the rest of the crew. To imply there's one over there, and then there's a lot of compositing shots together. So it's like there's a part where he's like, "Look at all of my Alice's," and then he's got the two standing on side by side, and then two come in from the right that's like spliced in together. It's and then two come in from the left that is spliced together. It looks okay for the most part. I mean, you can tell here in 2025 exactly what they're doing because that's we get it. But it is what it is. And then yeah, there are lots of other scenes where we see a bunch of the bots all standing around and they're very much not the same lady. We ran out of twins to use, but I think it's like they do mention like we have Alice's, but we also have Brenda's or
Yeah.
whatever, and so
We have
there's other
Barbara's,
ones.
and yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kirk asks him how he got out of prison, and Mud says that the story doesn't make a ton of sense because he should have already been in prison before this was happening, but whatever. He says he got arrested again because he was like stealing information and patents and was
Yeah.
giving it out to other people for free. And then Kirk's like, "Did you pay royalties?" And of course he didn't.
Hmm.
But I was also like kind of under the impression that we didn't really have currency. I thought we were in like the utopia future, but whatever. And then he got in trouble because he stole a patent from some Vulcans, which is apparently punishable by death in the area that he did it. So he ran away.
Yeah, he could have. Well, the good news for him is he gets to choose death by electrocution, gas, phaser, or hanging. Now, I did want to ask, which one would you choose out of those four?
Not electrocution.
No,
I don't know. Gas, I guess.
okay, not the phaser. You just delete me.
I
Like
don't
we've seen people
know.
die by phaser here before. They're atomized and it's just over.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like who's choosing hanging in
But if
in?
but if I'm an excellent actor like Harry Mudd,
Oh,
I
that's true.
can pretend that the gas has killed me and not actually die and get away with
Yes.
it.
So like the full recap of it is he was in custody at the end of the last episode that he was in, I believe.
Right.
But he like finagled his way out of the legal trouble by being a shyster, I guess.
Sure.
And then he got busted selling stolen patents or specs. Escaped the death sentence by running away on a stolen ship, which got damaged in the escape. So he just floated out into unmapped space until he found a planet comprised by thousands of android workers who won't let him leave and made him king.
Everything's coming up Mudhouse. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
This podcast what his motive is, and Mud's like, "You talk just like the robots. You'll love it here." Uh, and yeah, it turns out that Mud is trapped here. The androids won't let him leave, but they wanted to study more human people, so he lured in the Enterprise by sending out a robot to get him.
He doesn't ever expressly say that it's for revenge for his being foiled last time, but like that's
For
what it
sure, that's
is,
what
right?
it is. Yeah. The androids want to take them to their quarters, but before that, we find out about Mud's creepy wife bot, Stella. He made an android that looks exactly like his wife and talks shit to him so that he can tell her to shut up and then turn her off.
He's got a couple hangups. He's got some stuff he needs to work through in therapy.
Yeah. So they get taken to their quarters and they're told that the androids were made by people in the Andromeda Galaxy, Mass Effect Andromeda Galaxy,
Ooh.
who died in a supernova, and now all that's left is a couple of outposts, some I guess across different planets, that are able to make new androids, and now all of the ones here are serving Mud, and isn't that great? Kirk dismisses the droids by saying that he doesn't want them there because they don't like them, which was, I thought, a little funny. And Uhura, I don't know if she was supposed to, but she did laugh about it.
Well, it's hysterical because yeah, he tells the robot lady to take a hike. She says why, and he says because we don't like you. And then he like shoos her out with a hand gesture and makes a little boop, boop, boop sound with
Yeah.
his mouth.
Nichelle Nichols, I don't know if she was supposed to laugh, but she does.
No, she's corpsing. It's fine. It happens. It was funny. That's
Uh,
my captain.
that's my
That is
captain,
my
baby.
captain.
She should have been in charge. Kirk dismisses the droids, and they decide to wander the facility, all the crew member, to figure out how to get away, basically. So Spock finds a droid stroking his crystal in the control system,
Oh
and he
my.
goes, interesting. The Kirk, Uhura, and Mud look at some new bots getting made. They're part of the Barbara series. And Mud says they are his specification, as are all of the ladies. And Kirk makes a joke about, like, what about men bots? And he's like, I guess they have their purposes.
It's like, well, if I have a couple of Chardonnays, maybe.
I don't want robots with panacea.
No.
Although I will say, all of the robots, all the guy robots are wearing, like, very tight white.
Oh, they're junks on full display.
There's one called Norman, and he is in charge, and we all know
Yeah.
why. That's all I'll say. We all know why.
His name is Norman. He's in charge. He's got a big penis, but I was calling him Norman the Foreman because he's in charge.
More like Norman the Foreskin, am I right?
Oh. Okay.
What?
Okay. All right. Oh.
We got him. Ladies and gentlemen,
Ah.
that's a wrap. We're done
Hang
with
on.
Star Trek.
I had to get up and walk away from my desk for that one.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Okay, so Uhura then becomes kind of infatuated with it because they tell her that the robots can live for like 500,000 years and they stay hot for that entire time. And I guess it's implied that she can get her body, like her brain, put into an android body and then also live and be hot forever.
They do say that. They say that we can take your brain and put it here, and it's immortality, basically.
Which, like, okay, I'm down. I'll be a robot for 500,000
Which
years.
why wouldn't Mud have already put his brain in Norman's body?
With the big penis. And
Dude's packing.
the only thing wrong with Norman is that he does have, like, kind of pockmarked skin on his cheeks from, like, acne when he was a kid. That's the only bad thing about that guy. Otherwise, real hot.
I'll be honest. If I was Harry Mudd, I wouldn't want to change a damn thing.
That's fair. He is an absolute class act. Bones comes back thrilled with the labs. He's like, I could spend my whole life studying those labs. But then Scotty is dragged into the room by an Alice bot, and who says he's the last one. And it is revealed that Mud sent androids up to the Enterprise and has kidnapped everyone and brought them down to the planet. So
That's a lot
Kirk
of
starts
people.
choking him out, and we go to the commercial with Mud just getting strangled.
I mean, that's what he deserves.
He does, and I loved it. When we get back, Kirk says Mud'll never get away with it. Starfleet will stop them. And Spock's like, it's possible he could get away with it, especially with the whole crew down here. And they're all being pampered. They might not even want to go back up because it's like kind of chill down here, actually. And then it immediately cuts to Chekhov sitting in the throne room with two Alices bringing him drinks. And he's clearly thinking about having sex with them. And then he's like, no, but I can't. I can't have sex with you. And they're like, well, we were designed by Mud.
oh,
and he's
no.
like, that lecherous old disgusting monster. And he's like, it's paradise down here. It's better than Leningrad.
They're like, oh, we've got them. They are, in fact, fully functional.
Oh my God. That's what I'm saying. And we're still surprised that when Data shows up. That's crazy. There's like
Star Trek is so horny.
Oh yeah.
So horny.
Everyone wants to fuck the robots.
Everyone wants to fuck everybody.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Scotty then starts falling in love with a different lab where he's like, hey man, this is pretty cool. Which is interesting because he was just literally kidnapped and thrown into a room like a minute ago, but whatever, here we are. Back in their quarters, the crew is loafing around and Kirk whips them into shape by telling them I should say first, they're talking about like all the things that they can do here, And they're like, what do they offer you or her? And she's like, oh, just a small thing, immortality. I'm like, oh,
Wait a
sick.
minute. Is she down with that?
I mean, she seems down with it. I'd be a robot for 500,000 years and then switch into a different robot. Why not? Every 500,000 years, I just get a new body.
Like a hermit crab.
Yeah. After 500,000 years, I'd probably swap it up. I'd be like, I'm going to be fat this half millennia.
Oh,
Back in their quarters, everyone's loafing around, blah, 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 blah. Kirk comes in, he whips him into shape. And then he starts telling Alice that they want their ship back, and that's how it'll make them happy, which throws her into like a tizzy because she's like doesn't understand what unhappy
yeah.
means, and also thinks it's like it's the robot thing. They're like
Yes.
it's sort of paradox. You can't be in love with a ship. It's a boat.
We've done it already in this season.
Yeah.
We've done it already. And Kirk is like, all right, time to do it again, because he's the only one not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is like, this place is awesome. You know what? Why don't we just stay here forever and be, robots and have sex with robots? And,
I'd probably stay.
And Chekhov is like, I've already started. Because he definitely fucked those androids.
100%. 100%. And I would too.
And Kirk is like, that's it. I'm sick of this. And then he goes to the nearest android and starts getting it to think itself to death.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm going to contemplate what this means. And then she like starts like signaling Norman somehow in her brain. Norman being the guy who's in charge. Norman with the big penis.
Norman the foreman.
And they will. So we cut to the main room, and the robots are now telling Mudd that they won't obey him anymore. He's like, load my bags onto the new ship. I'm going to get out of here. And they're like, nope. And he's like, what do you mean? And they're like, actually, you guys are crazy. All you humans kind of suck. And we're just going to go conquer the entire galaxy. That was like, what?
Yeah,
we're just going to make everyone so happy that they don't want to do anything.
The way they're going to do it is like trick everybody in the universe into complacency by making them like subservient.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
This
but
is
it
also,
would work.
This is also where I wrote.
That's what my iPhone is doing right now.
Right now. And it's listening to us too. I also wrote here, the android dicks is crazy.
Oh, yeah?
Mudd like tries to leave and gets thrown to the ground. And I was like, that's a good pratfall. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Do stunts.
After a commercial break, we do a brainstorm. And it leads them to discovering Norman with the big penis. And they're like, basically Spock's like, hey, that crystal that he was stroking earlier, like it's not strong enough to do to control that many robots. So it must be but there's only one Norman. There's 100 of all these there's 100 Alice's and 100 of these and 100 of those or whatever. Norman must be like the one that's in charge of all of them. So we just got to break Norman and then we're out of here. And Mudd agrees to help them out. He's like, yeah, man, I don't want to be here either. Let's put together a con. I love a good con. And they're like, cool. And then they drug him. Against
his will. They make him very aware of what they're going to do to him before they do it. So he has just enough time to protest, but then the needle's already in him.
And it's so funny. So they say that they need to take him to the ship so that they can help him. And the robots are like, yeah, okay, sure. We'll do that. Why not? But then Uhura heel turns and is like, no, it's all a fake. It's all a lie. And I'll be honest, this turns out to be fake. The robot's like, thanks, and I'll get you your robot body soon, and leaves. And then she's like, I almost believed the lie myself. I don't know why they lied.
So they...
The rest of this episode makes no fucking sense to me at all.
No, we are off some rails from here on out. Kirk says in this moment that the androids would have expected us to attempt something, so we gave them that something in this moment, and now they think we've already tried, and now they won't know what to expect from us from here on out. I think that's a crock of shit, and I think they just wanted an excuse to drug Harry Mudd.
Yeah, which to be fair was really funny.
It was funny. They did it for the bit, and I appreciate it.
I respect that. But then but then it becomes weird, because then they go to the throne room area, whatever you want to call it. It's like the entrance room, and they start putting on a weird ass show where like Bones and Scotty are like pretending to play instruments while Chekhov and Uhura dance, and then Kirk asks them like, ask the robots like, oh, do you hear the music? But they can't because there's no music. So he's like just trying to confuse them. But the rest of this episode is just like an improv group, just
Yeah.
like fucking around.
It's
But it works. It
it's
confuses these two Alices to death.
it's less of so before when we took out Nomad, we got him in like a logic loop of paradoxes, right? And that's what made him spaz out and explode or whatever. This one we do eventually get to that, but the plan is to spend like 10 straight minutes of airtime just confusing the shit out of everybody and just doing the most nonsensical stuff we can.
Yeah. But
Which
like not even necessarily. Some of them are fun, but most of them are
i-
not.
in context of the plot, this is the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
In context of watching Spock pretend to pick up an invisible explosive and then pack it in his hand, and then Kirk says, "Mr. Spock, isn't that too much?" And he's like, "No, Captain, I believe it's the right amount." And then he puts it on the ground, and then they all pretend it exploded.
He doesn't know. He
I
doesn't
mean
just.
that.
He throws it to mud.
Oh, that's right. Like it's a like Mud squats like a baseball catcher, and then Spock throws it up in the air.
It's fucking insane.
It's we
We've also skipped the part
the,
where Spock kills two other androids by telling one that he loves her and the other that he hates her, even though they look exactly the same, and then that's enough to just kill them.
that's true. That's pretty good. I did write that down where because Kirk is tricking some androids into spazzing out, but the Spock does it way easier. He does it in like half the time.
Yeah. Well, okay. So they go to the Norman room, where he's stroking his crystal with his big wiener, and
Yes.
they're talking to him, and Mud starts like hitting him with a soliloquy that I don't think really means anything. And then Scotty and Bones say that they can't be happy unless they're suffering, like they hate happiness, and so then they like start freaking out and crying about how happy they are. And Spock starts like doing metaphors for some fucking reason. And then they all kill Scotty.
That's my favorite part.
They point their fingers at Scotty and they go, and he
Yeah,
pretends
yes.
to die.
They all hit the perfect whistle, the perfect pose. They all step in unison. It's amazing.
And then yeah, they pretend to make a bomb, and then they pretend to blow up the bomb, and it's Norman starts smoking and he dies. That's where we get.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And then they say all of the robots have shut down. I'm like, good, we've defeated the Phantom Menace.
Yay!
But then in the next shot, the robots are just back on, and they're like, we reprogrammed them to be
Boo.
different robots. And I'm like, you could have
Oh,
fucking done
who did
that.
that?
Who
Spock?
did, who did that?
Did Spock
And why
do it?
didn't you start with that? Anyway, so apparently, here's the end of the episode. They reprogrammed all the robots, or the androids, to hold Harry Mudd captive, including they made 500 of his nagging robot wives to
Oh my,
torment him forever.
500. We're leaving Mud here in his own personal hell with his nagging wife, and there's 500 of them.
We've found a clone android army that can produce more, and we're using it exclusively to torment this fat guy.
We imagine if we used the army of Harry Mudd's nagging wife to fight the separatists, Clone Wars.
Any day now. And that's the episode. You got any trivia for me?
Yeah, yes, I do. So this is obviously the second appearance of Harry Mudd. There was going to be an appearance of him for the third season, but it was they decided not to do it because the producers wanted to move away from comedy episodes apparently.
Okay.
Now, Roger C. Caramel, or Caramel if you're nasty, he does reprise the role of Mudd in an episode of the animated series. So we have that to look forward to in the distant future.
Cool.
Apparently, he was also considered to make a return in one of the movies in the 1980s, but that didn't happen because by that point, Roger C. Caramel was not doing well health-wise.
Oh.
Yeah. Another thing about him, with the exception of all the actors who are like in the Enterprise crew, So your DeSales or your uh, transporter Kyle guy. With the exception of everyone who wears a uniform, Roger C. Carmel was the only actor to portray the same character in more than one episode of Star Trek, the original series.
Oh, that's kind of
Isn't that
cool.
something? Yeah, he's got the nice little honor. According to Walter Koenig, who plays Chekhov, NBC was apparently considering making a Harry Mudd spin-off show?
No shot.
Well, because this episode was very successful, evidently.
I
Um,
everything you've told me is insane.
the
Every
the
second.
according to Walter Koenig, the NBC producers actually assigned Roddenberry to develop the idea, and it says here that he was, quote, too busy making Star Trek and other projects, and he didn't have time for it.
He
And I
said
read that as
no.
he said no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Ah, yeah. This I alluded to this earlier. During the filming, the casting director for this episode was freaking out real bad because they wrote the script that called for at least one pair of twins, and they didn't have any. And he was
Right.
like, "What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" He found the young ladies who play these twin androids, literally walking down the street, and he pulled over, jumped out of his car, and said, "You're gonna be on television now."
I'm gonna make you a star, sweetheart.
If I'm these young ladies, pepper spray and run.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's the 60s, so they've seen worse.
they apparently got in the car
No.
and went. I don't know if they literally got in the car,
Okay.
but I'm saying they're on the show. So
Yeah. It worked out, I guess. That's insane. Imagine making that life choice.
it
I'm gonna
couldn't
make
be
you
me.
a star. You want to pamper Harry Mudd?
No, no, thank you. I don't know what that means, sir, but no, thank you.
Why is the mud hairy? What does that mean?
Yeah, Daniel, what did you think of this episode?
I didn't care for it. I think I love Harry and I think he was really funny. But man, that last like 15, 20 minutes or whatever where we're just doing improv, hated that so much. Hated that so much. It's gotta get illogical for me. I cannot.
It screams like we do not know how to end the episode.
Yeah.
This one, I think this is a very, for the most part, a very fun illogical.
Yes, yeah.
But like, again, I'm not with this ending. I'm not with the little the plot of just let's just be LOL random for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Although I did like seeing these cast members do some of the silly things.
Yeah.
In context of the full episode, I'm just like I'm not. It's literally illogical.
Yeah,
It's literally illogical.
and it's to some extent supposed to be. Like I get that, but I just
Yeah,
didn't
of course.
enjoy it. Like I was watching it and I was like, what's happening and what are we doing? Why can't we just be friends with Harry? He seems fun.
Yeah, but we left him in hell.
We left him in hell with 500 of his ex-wife or whatever.
That's pretty funny in its own right,
It
though.
is pretty funny. I do want to say I also really like how the way that androids die, where they've got so like the number necklace that they have, it like
Yeah.
flashes light whenever they're like doing robot shit. It like flashes, and when they get like overthought or whatever, it like flatlines, and then they just
Oh.
like slump.
Yeah.
I think that's cute. That's a cute bit. Ugh.
Well, that's oh man, is this the first time we've had? Well, wait, no, you gave Catspaw an engage.
I did.
I've given two illogicals this evening.
Oh, you're so negative. What a jerk.
Yeah, I fucking hate Star Trek. No, this both. I gave both illogicals, but they're both enjoyable to an extent. I think there's
Yeah.
reasons to watch both. One is for Roger C. Carmel as Harry Mudd. The other is for everyone running away from the shadow of a cat on a wall.
Oh my god. Which is so cute. Oh my god.
And that does us for this one.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Guys, if you want to tell us how much you love Harry Mudd, whether it's the guy or just mud with hair in it, you can leave comments about that on Spotify or YouTube. Those are the places we are, and we'd love to see you in those places. Especially if you're listening on one, we'd love it if you'd go to the other one and hit subscribe. Even if you don't actually watch a single thing there, just having that number goes up actually really helps us a lot. So I'd really appreciate that.
Mentally, mental health wise, it
Mental
helps
health,
me.
it's great. It's really great for us.
Number go up.
Number go up, make happy. You can follow the show on Twitter at rsr_pod. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skylar8bit.
And until next time, everybody, let's see what's out
Let's
there.
see what's out there.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories